Hello, it is day 3 of the vlog, and I'm no longer rules of 4:30, so there we go. That's much better. So, update today. I finally got to use the camera in a professional setting, and I have to say, it didn't really perform to my expectation. But it wasn't really the camera's fault. Maybe this is a cope. It's more of the workflow that I had in mind. So when I got out of my car today at the work event, I was like fumbling through my bag, and I had too many lenses, and I had the wrong lens on. I had the 25mm on, which is like a 50mm equivalent, which would have been like cropped in like how I usually vlog, or how I vlogged yesterday, where it's really close. But understand that the camera is like a meter away from me right now, so if I'm hand holding like that, it would have just been like too much of my face. So yeah, rather than like change out that lens to a wider lens and then put on the mic and get the settings right, I was just like, you know what, just for the start of the vlog, I'm gonna shoot with my iPhone. And yeah, the problem is that the iPhone shoots in either 30p or 60p, 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, if I'm interpreting that correctly. Yes. And we are in a PAL region, PAL, I think. So it should be 25 or 50 frames per second. 30 and 60 are for like the US, Canada, I think the UK. Some other regions use 30 and 60, but we here in Malaysia, we are supposed to be on 25 and 50. I don't know if this rule is super like, do you have to follow it? Like right now I'm shooting in 30p just as an experiment. Like, am I going to be flickering with this LED light? Maybe it's just like screens. If I have a TV behind me, it's going to be like flickering like crazy. I don't know what the rule is, so I will attempt. Maybe I keep like scratching my, it's just like I've got sweat running down my nose. It just, yeah, so I'm gonna maybe try shoot a couple of videos in a modern car with like the infotainment. I have a Volvo test car coming up on Tuesday, so when I get that car, I'll shoot a little bit of a vlog style episode with 25p and 30p and 50 and 60, and see which one makes the most sense. Now, most people recommend shooting 30p, and that was my target. I mean, my actual target was like 4K 60, and I was like, this is taking up too much space and it's not necessary. So I'm going to scale it down to 30p or 25p, and yeah, if it is necessary to do slow-mo, then I will shoot in 60 or maybe 120. Well, this camera does 240, so we shall see. Anyway, what happened was today I shot the intro with my iPhone, and my iPhone was shooting and capturing HDR video. I forgot that I put that in my settings. It's not really clear to see on the quick menu that HDR is on. But yeah, it was shooting HDR, and if you have an iPhone, like, you know, you shoot in HDR and you press play on your Photos app and the video just looks good, so you don't really think about it. But the moment you transfer it to a non-HDR device, like an older iPad or something like that, and then you try to edit on that device, then you realize that everything is just, the color space is wrong, you know. All the colors are weird, it's like super blown out, saturation's on max, highlights are clipping. It's just like, it's a very crazy look. Like something is just not right with the video clip. So yeah, my phone was shooting on HDR. I didn't realize that. And then after that, there was like a little drive activity, and I was filming with my little action cam, and that action cam I think was also set up with some kind of HDR color space transform, I don't know, and yeah, so when I took the footage and I combined it with the ending of the vlog, which I filmed with my camera, Actually, I was quite okay with the footage that I shot with the camera because I wasn't using an optimized lens. I was using like a regular pancake, a photo oriented pancake lens, and it was 28 millimeter equivalent, so it's not quite wide enough. But I was hoping that would be wide enough for single person vlog. I think with a tripod or something it would be okay. But I was holding it just from the side of the camera, so it seemed a little bit too close for comfort. So either I start vlogging with this lens, let's try that later because right now it's attached to a power bank. I'm trying out that thing as well. So like right now I'm charging it with my power bank and also filming. Should have checked what percentage it was before I started filming, but as long as it works, that's the whole point of me testing it, just to see if it works. So today has just been basically testing out more video features. I had a look at the 4K footage that went up on yesterday's episode, and I have to say the GH5 looked a lot better. GH5 was super sharp. You could see all the wrinkles in my skin, but at the same time the GH5 in that video where I wasn't moving at all, I was just sitting here, just went out of focus so many times. It like pulsed. And in today's vlog, and I was shooting on a very incorrect lens for a video, it only went out of focus towards the end, and that was a very weird thing that it did. It just kind of pulsed a little bit and then came back, which does happen on GH5, but with the GH5 it's like, you film a 30-minute video and it happens once every 3 minutes or every 4 minutes. It's very obvious that it's happening. Whereas on this, I got my face in a little bracket, and my eye, I can see my eye is being tracked right there, and it only kind of, I think, went out because of the sunlight in the back of my head when I was filming that episode. The lighting situation was a bit challenging, so I think because the light kind of came in, just made it lose focus for a second. But besides that, it was it's locked onto my face, so very happy with the autofocus on the camera. But I had to, the reason why it was a little bit disappointing was that I thought my workflow would be like this. I would be transferring everything from my camera, from my smartphone, and from my action cam to my iPad, and then editing it on LumaFusion, which is a paid app. I paid for this app like 5 or 6 years ago when I used to run everything on my iPad Pro, the older iPad Pro, not the newer ones. And it was quite a powerful app, but you kind of do need like a keyboard and a mouse to make it really work nicely with the keyboard shortcuts and stuff. So anyway, I kind of long abandoned that app, and I also kind of stopped using my iPad for a long time. And then I recently got another used iPad, the first gen iPad with the lightning cable, and it was in really bad shape. Screen was cracked, battery was bloated, so I changed out the battery myself, and so I just have like a huge iPad, which is just like modern enough and powerful enough to edit videos, but just barely, and it can't do some of the more modern stuff. It doesn't have that polished look. It doesn't even have like 120 frames per second, so it is a little bit of an old school iPad, but it can do a lot of productivity stuff. So I was thinking like, on the go it would be a nice like video editing machine, big screen, thinner than a laptop, lighter than a laptop, just enough battery life to like edit a 1 hour video or half an hour video, that kind of thing. But then I ran into a lot of issues. The first issue was how to get like some of the footage from my action cam to the iPad, because from the phone you can just airdrop it, and from this camera I managed to airdrop like a 10-minute file in HD 8-bit. Managed to airdrop it, wirelessly send it to the iPad, no issues. Just took like maybe about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So just like click it once, leave it, go and make a coffee or do something else, and come back and it's done. So that was an okay workflow. But getting it from my action cam, which is a DJI Action 1, to the iPad, that was a bit more challenging. You kind of need the dongle to go into the lightning port, and then you need a power bank to go into one side of the dongle, and then you need a USB-C to USB-A cable for the action cam to go into that other side of the dongle. So you need the power running in one side, you need the camera running its data to the other side, and then the end of it goes into the iPad. And even then it was a little bit shaky in the beginning. It was like I can read, then it cannot read, coming on off. So after like a few, like I think 30 seconds to 1 minute of like trying to get it to stabilize, then it stabilized, then it showed up in the photos folder, and then I could import the footage from the action cam onto the iPad. So once that part was done, I was like, okay, it took 10 minutes to 20 minutes to get all the footage onto the iPad. Then I started to edit, and then I realized on LumaFusion, all the HDR videos were just going crazy. And LumaFusion itself, I kind of admitted after I tried to do some stuff, they were like, oh, we don't have the codecs to actually process this. Because I tried to do some log transforms and like, I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I was trying to make the footage look less terrible. And only after I did all the color corrections to make it look better, you know, lowering the highlights to like a very low level, and then playing with the saturation, changing the color a little bit so it matched the skin tones. Still didn't get it right, but I was like, okay, you know, it just needs to look good enough. Only after I did all that, and I was like, okay, time to export this video after I edited everything together. Then it like came out with a little pop-up message saying like, oh, some of these clips are using a codec that is not supported, so we're going to optimize all your HDR files to SDR. Hope you don't mind. I was like, I already did all the work making it look okay, and then you're going to just convert it back to SDR. But on the plus side, once it converted to SDR, then the clips kind of looked normalized. Didn't look great, looked a little bit washed out, but it was okay. It was fine. So yeah, the clip went out okay, but it really took like, I don't know, 2 hours to fully start to finish edit that video. And it wasn't a very complicated video to edit. It just, the workflow was not optimized. So I think from now on, I'm not going to edit on that iPad unless I get like a little keyboard and mouse, and like, but even then it just doesn't seem like the best flow. Best flow seems to be like how I edit these videos, which is just take the footage off via USB cable to my laptop, and then just edit it there on Final Cut. Yeah, and then export it. But yeah, I'm still playing around with the color grading, because I looked at yesterday's footage and I was like, yeah, it's color graded, it's kind of okay, but still something missing, still some of that pop is missing. And that was 10-bit video, which is supposed to be the better quality stuff. It just looked like the footage was not quite as sharp as the GH5. The GH5 looked really sharp, even if it was constantly like hunting focus, you know. So today I'm shooting in 8-bit, and apparently this one is a little bit easier to color grade, like very minimal tweaking is necessary. I don't think I have to do like a apply a LUT or anything like that. I don't think so, but we'll try some stuff and see. Hopefully it looks better. Yeah, the video that I shot for my main channel will be up tomorrow, or actually no, it'll be up today, the same time as this video, because yesterday's video is going up, so there's like a little gap in time thing going on. But yeah, it does, I don't think I regret buying this camera yet, but the amount of like loopholes I have to like jump over some like logical hurdles to get this camera to perform in a way that is what I wanted to do. That's a little bit tricky, but I think we're getting there. Let's see how this video goes, and then I will go back to 10-bit I think tomorrow, we'll see, and yeah, see if I can get a little bit better at color grading, at fixing some other issues. And then when I get my test car on Tuesday, we'll start to do some in-car footage with this camera, try to emulate the autofile style of video. Let's see, right now we're zoomed into 18mm, but in autofiles we do this. I'm in my underwear, I should censor that. Yeah, so that looks pretty damn wide, even though in Olympus, in this stabilized setting, it does crop in about 10%. But yeah, this is a bit further than we usually sit, but yeah, this looks okay. I can still be in frame even though it's cropped. Should be okay. Let me stop showing you my thighs. I will zoom back in. How you doing? The other thing that is now bugging me, that, I mean, it really shouldn't bug me, but it's on my mind, because some of my other cameras are now generating some interest on Carousel. So if I do sell everything at the price that they are currently listed at, that's 1,000, 1007, so 2007, and then another 1000, so 3007. I doubt I will get anywhere near that. I think 2.5 for everything is like very realistic. If I wanted to sell it this week, just drop everything down to 2005, I could clear everything very quickly. But I don't want to. I want to get that 3004 or 3002 or something like that. That amount would be nice. Somewhere in the low 3000s is what I want. Yeah, if I do get back 3000 ringgit, then putting it back into my bank would be the logical thing. Then it would pay for this camera and then some. But I've also got some 4/3 lenses that I want to let go of, and possibly some micro 4/3 lenses as well. I don't know, because right now what I have is this, a gift from Flat Earth Santa, aka my dad, Acha. Thank you very much. This is an 8 to 18 millimeter. It's quite an expensive lens. It's like 3,000-4,000. I don't know how much it was new, but right now if I go on the used market, it's still very expensive. And to be honest, if I was buying a lens of this width, you saw how like wide it gets, I would not be getting this lens. I would be getting the 9mm f1.7, and I was eyeing that lens for many years, like since it first came out. I think in 2021. Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, that's the lens, that's the one for me, because 9mm super duper wide, f1.7 super duper fast, and it was plastic. It's very lightweight and quite small as well, and it's a Leica coating on the lens, so it's like, oh, it's ticking all these boxes. And it was like 2,200 or 2,300. Sometimes you get it on offer for 2,001. Yeah, not cheap as well. I was like, even when that was like, you know, in the budget, I was like, should I do it? It's 2,100 for a lens, and I got the GH5 for 2,000 bucks. So it's like, it didn't make sense. So I never really pulled the trigger. And then when my dad offered me this lens, I was like, this is more versatile because you get 8mm, so it is wider than 9mm, and you can zoom in to 18mm, which is this, which is a very usable and normal looking focal length, whereas 8mm is just so, you know, weirdly wide. It's not fisheye or anything, but it's just a very absurd looking focal length. Great for vlog style, you know, like autofiles, 2 people sitting there. You need that width, but for 1 person you don't need that width. It's just weird looking. So it's like 2-in-1, but it is f2.8 on the widest end, and this is f4. Still fine. I don't need that shallow depth of field effect for these kind of videos, but it is the big issue is that it is bulky and it's heavy. I mean, it's not a big issue, but it definitely is huge compared to the 9mm, and the price as well. Like I said, I wouldn't have bought this mostly because of the price, but also because of the weight and all that. So I mean, it does the job, right? And it's good enough. I don't need f1.7. What I would benefit from is that smallness and that lightness. The f1.7 part, nah, it's fine. If anything, I'm going to actually put ND filters on this when we go and take it out into the sunlight, and get like exposure problems. Because today when I was shooting with the 14mm lens, that's an f2.5. The issue wasn't like I'm not letting in enough light. Most of the time the problem was I was letting in too much light. I know this camera has a live ND, which is like a digital ND filter, but I think that only works for photos. I will try to explore and see if I can get it to work on videos, because sometimes I shoot and I see a little sign saying like something ND on the video itself, so I don't know what is going on there. But most likely I will have to, I have an ND filter, and I think I have a step-up ring for this lens, so we'll start to do some experiments there and see if that can work. Because if I can get a ND filter on this, and then yeah, it doesn't have to stop itself down too much. I don't know how. No, it doesn't have to open. No, how does that work? So basically, if I put an ND filter on this in the bright sunlight, then it doesn't struggle with blown out highlights. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Basically today, it was already at the lowest possible ISO, like ISO 200. It was already like, the lens was already like pinhole small. So it's probably like f22 or something like that. And yeah, the shutter speed is fixed. Like I'm exposing for shutter speed, so whatever my frame rate is, if it's 50, I'm exposing at 1 out of 100 to get the correct motion blur, which is supposed to be the correct way to expose for video. Yeah, so I will have to play with ND filters if I'm going out in the sunlight, is what I'm saying. So yeah, that 9mm thing. What I'm saying is that 9mm, I would only get it if it was cheap enough. 2K is still a bit expensive, especially since I have this. And I haven't tried to like one-handed vlog this. We'll do it at the end, a little vlog test. See how it performs just in this room in my underwear. But we'll see if it's too heavy or anything like that. I think it's fine. Like the camera is actually a lot smaller and very easy to handle. It's just got a very nice big chunky grip on one side. Yeah, so we'll see if it handles okay. Sometimes when the lens is a bit heavier, it does hurt my palm a little bit. So I see where Robin Wong is getting at. He kind of complained that the OM-1 had a not very nice grip. It's only true when there's a big lens on it. Like I use like this 70 to 300mm old 4/3 lens, and when that thing is on, it's just like I have to grip, which makes me feel like, oh, maybe I should get the battery grip, but I don't think that's going to help at all. It's just like I got to get smaller lenses, or just not use that lens, or use it with a tripod or something like that. Anyway, where am I getting at? What I am thinking of, like the ideal set right now, what I have is like I have like this super wide zoom, so it goes from 8 to 18. 8 I don't think I'll use for anything other than autofiles. Maybe the odd interior shot or shot of a boot or something like that. That's when it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Some weird angles you can get with an 8mm shot. 18 I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a fan of 35mm shots. I like, strangely, like 40 and above. 40 to 120 is like where I take my favorite shots. Yeah, so 40 to 120 would be like 20mm to 60mm. That is the focal length in micro four thirds terms that would be a nice telephoto zoom. So if there was a 20 to 60, in fact I think Panasonic has a 12 to 60 Leica, which is a 2.8 to 4 f4. So what would make sense to me is actually something like that. So get a telephoto zoom that's 12 to 60 or even 12 to 40. I think Olympus has a 12 to 40 Pro, which has been around for years, and I've seen like used ones for like 1,007. So one of those, f2.8, fast enough, can do all my photos and stuff like that. So one professional grade photo lens, 12 to 40, that's 24 to 80mm, all you would need actually. And then that 9mm just for autofiles, vlogging purposes, nice and light, compact setup for vlogging. I think that would be perfect. But yeah, we'll see. I right now what I have is the opposite. I have this 8 to 18, and then I have a bunch of really nice primes in between. I have the 25, in fact I have the 14 compact prime, I have the 17 compact prime. Not great lenses, but pretty okay for the size. I have the 20 compact prime, the pancake primes, and then I have the 25 Leica prime f1.4. That's a really good lens. That's the one I've been shooting I think the last vlog was on that. And then I have the 60 f2.8 Sigma lens, unsellable, nobody wants it, I don't think, but it's a nice lens. I like the way it does the bokeh. Sometimes it's a bit ugly, but then once in a while you get a good shot. I got a nice butterfly once, it was nice. And then I have the f2, the 50mm 4/3 lens, also one of my favorites, but it doesn't have a CPL filter yet, so maybe I should get that and sell the, I don't know, it's just there's just too many primes that I have in that 14 to 60 range, you know. I just need one telephoto that's good to serve that entire range, and it'll be good if it's like a waterproof stabilized lens. Unfortunately, in Olympus lineup there's only one that is 12 to 100, and that's an f4, and it's also very expensive, so I think that's out of the question. So I don't think I also need stab or like lens stab, because the in-body stab is good enough. So that 12 to 40 f2.8 is very attractive to me. I saw one for 1,007, but I'm not going to buy it until I sell or if I sell all my other lenses. If I sell all my primes and get that, it might be a good deal. We'll see. Thing is, I just love these primes too much right now. So 12 to 40 would be a good main photo lens for this camera, and then the 9mm for vlogs. Or I could just keep this, because having the 8 to 18 and then 12 to 40, that's two. This is waterproof as well, so I could have two waterproof lenses, both one Pro, one Leica. Hey, that works. And then keep maybe the 20mm or the 14mm as like compact street photo kind of bullshit. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I did do a little bit of fixing my thesis today, where actually ChatGPT did most of the work, but I did guide it down the right path. I should have just like finished it up and it got like a second draft done, but what I did was I just made sure like all the steps were in there, and then I think tomorrow I will have time to get that out into a proper document and then send it to my lecturer and ask for feedback over the weekend, so that next week I can have all the final feedback and I don't have to panic, because early next week I can take that feedback, put it in, and then like have the final draft that I submit. Because I looked at my marks and I'm like 4 marks away from like the passing grade, which is not great, but it's not far. It just needs a little bit of effort to push and then maybe get me closer to a good grade. I mean, not bad for, I shouldn't say not bad, failing is failing, right? But 56, 60 is the passing mark. I should have tried a bit harder, but yeah, I'm so close. I just need to push. And there's still time. There's until the 15th, and today's the 5th, so it's 10 days. I shouldn't be procrastinating like this, but I'm so good at procrastinating. It's a terrible disease, laziness. But I'm not lazy to do this. You don't get lazy about your art. That's what someone said once. Some YouTuber. Nicholas Hornbrook. Yeah, that's where I got that from. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Undies.